Hello and welcome to Speckled Speech. My name is Naileen Jones and today I'm going to read a story that was written for students learning to articulate the TH sound. It's called Edith Thixton's Spring. So this story is meant to bombard the student with the TH sound. So there are a lot of extra words in there, and that's what I'm most concerned with when I write a story like this rather than regular rules for story writing, I guess. Father Time bears a scepter-like sky, the staff of birth and growth. In a 12-month rhythm, and without exception, he keeps his everlasting oath that the 3rd, 4th, and 5th months will go forth forever, bringing with them yet another year of warmer weather. Although snowball fights and frozen forts are fun, the spring's growing warmth thaws those thick white blankets in a plethora of slithering mud floods, whether it fits our fancy or not. That thawing of the earth is brought forth by Mother Earth. The warmth of her breath creates new growth among the writhing, withering slush. Meanwhile, the squawking feathered flocks, flotilla and fowl that had flown south for the winter fly back northward with their flights in V formation to flow faster and save fuel. One such spring, on the 28th day of the 3rd month at 3:30 in the afternoon, was the birth of Edith Thixton. He was a healthy new baby brother to a 4th grade girl named Edith Thixton. Ethan was such a tiny heartthrob that he made Edith's heart authentically throb, even though he always wanted his pacifier or to be fed and had a plethora of stinky cloth diapers round the clock. A month after Ethan's birthday, and once the snow had mostly thawed, Edith's mother Ethel was baking their favorite 3-cheese pie for dinner with her motherly method. Edith thought it would be thoughtful to go outdoors so as not to be a thorn in her mother's side. Her father, Thad, without a doubt, also needed a breather to gather his wits. So, trustworthy Edith said to her father, "I think I'll go walk the greening earth with my best friend Beth and gather some hyacinths to bequeath to my mother." "That's a helpful theory," Father agreed and authorized her withdrawal. Thus she went forth athwart the threshold of their thatched cottage and out the front door. But in her haste, without thinking thoroughly, she forgot to throw on her favorite Thulian pink leather boots, which she had gotten for her 9th birthday. Barefoot, Edith carefully crossed the thoroughfare. Edith thought the new weather was breathtaking. She followed a flutter of earth-toned moths. They flitted their feathery wings as she headed straight toward her best friend Beth's cottage. Once at Beth's cottage, Edith asked Beth's mother, Ruth, if she and Beth could play together for the day. "Of course," affirmed Beth's mother, Ruth. "Fantastic," the friends replied and frolicked out the door and through a thorny pathway nearby. The girls couldn't wait for the plethora of flowers and for all of the new growth. They liked to watch the new growth of the thin plants as they gained in thickness and girth. Edith remembered from 3rd grade with her favorite teacher, Miss Freya Thompson, that for their health, flowers need the warmth of the sun for photosynthesis. The flower friends decided to find flowers and gather them in order to make wreaths for their hair. While wandering around, the two friends thought up all kinds of fae and other tiny mythological creatures that definitely come forth from the ether to roam the thawing earth during the vernal equinox in spring. The elves forage for fungi in the forest for sure, figured Edith. How about the Tylwyth Teg fairies, wondered Beth. They gather together all throughout these pathways in the thorny thickets from their otherworldly ethereal hearths, envisioned Edith. That's the truth, affirmed Beth, then reflected further. I think they are friendly with their furry foxes. The girls decided to make their little flower wreaths into crowns for the Tylwyth Teg fairies. The first flowers they spotted were the yellow forsythia that seemed to glow against a leftover pile of thawing snow. The second flowers they found were the blue hyacinth that Edith's mother loved the most. Third, they noticed 3 writhing earthworms unearthing near some thickening dianthus blossoms. Fourth, in the field toward the north, they found some pink heather. "This makes me think of Heather Merriweather from math class," said Beth. Thorny hawthorn, lizanthus, and miscanthus were the 5th, 6th, and 7th flowers the girls found. They made those into wreath crowns, too. "Flower power!" Edith and Beth laughed. Suddenly, in the distance, the faithful friends heard thundering, and that's when they saw Thor's wrathful thunderbolts slashing through the thunderclouds that were gathering threateningly in the sky above them. Thick raindrops began to thwap their frolicking thighs, their flower-gathering fingers and thumbs, and before they knew it, everything else. Edith even got thwapped on the mouth. Just then, a thunderous thunderclap startled the girls, who, thereupon, dropped their wreaths right then and there and took off for cover under the arched spathe of the thorny thistle pathway. That's when, without warning, an uncouth thorn thrust itself into Edith's loathed thigh. Although Edith felt mostly unscathed, she said a heartfelt goodbye to Beth, who went back to her cottage, trying in vain to avoid the rain. Before going home herself, Edith fearlessly gathered a handful of the wood hyacinth that she had promised herself and her father she would bring back to her mother. Then she frantically frolicked back to her own thatched cottage with her filthy feet through the mothy pathway and across to the other side of the now trafficky thoroughfare. Breathless, Edith paused and breathed in the southern breeze. She caught a whiff of the 3-cheese pie that was wafting through the thunderous air. It thrilled her sniffing nostrils, which agreed with each other that, in truth, Edith was famished and thirsty more than anything else. Although her mother wasn't too thrilled about Edith's filthy foot fingers, her torn clothes, and thorned thigh, they were both thankful that Edith hadn't stepped on anything thorny with her foot on top of everything. Mother was also thankful for her hyacinth, which she planned to use to make her own wreath. This wreath would be for the cottage door. Most of all, Edith was mirthful to see her toothless baby brother Ethan, even though he had yet another stinky diaper cloth. After her lengthy day, Edith threw down some 3-cheese pie and quenched her thirst with frothy beef broth until she was full. "Time for both of you to take a bath," said Mother. "Father will bathe your brother. In the meantime, I'll fix your thistle-thorned trousers. Please fetch my thread and thimble from above the hearth, Edith." "Thank you," thanked Edith, handing her the thread and thimble. "I'll take a bubble bath forthwith." And with that, her mother gave her a thimbled thumbs up and began to thread the needle with thread. After her bubble bath, Edith put on her thermals, and her baby brother was swathed in fresh swaddling clothes. In the aftermath of the filthy foot frolicking, the wrathful thunder and rain clapping and thwapping and uncouth thistle thorns, Edith and Ethan's mother and father soothed them until they both fell fast asleep, and the flitting moths fluttered frivolously, and the thunder grumbled thunderously, and the sleuth Tylwyth Teg tried on Edith and Beth's wreath crowns and wore them blithely henceforth. The end. If you enjoyed that, please check it out on speckledspeech.com, where you can download your own copy of the story. And at the end of the story, there's a checklist which you can use for data collection while your students read the story to see how they're doing. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Speckled Speech, and like the video. Thank you.